Good morning, all. Am I audible?
Yes, ma'am, you are audible.
Yes, ma'am.
Okay. I hope the screen is also visible.
Yes, ma'am.
Okay. So in last session, we have discussed about the header format of IPv4, right? So each and every field of that header format we have discussed. Also, for fragmentation, we know that in IP datagram, the fragmentation is possible if the length of the packet which we have received from the transport layer it exceeds the maximum limit which is allowed at a network layer. If it will exceed, then we need to perform the fragmentation. Right. So in that case, we need to have a few details like offset limit, offset header, so offset length, right? So that we then also we have discussed about the more fragmentations are allowed or not, whether it is available or not. Then how we used to calculate that, how the values will be or the fields will be created, differentiated. Um, that example, by taking example also we have discussed in the last session. Then we have discussed about the IP protocol, IP datagram. It is a connection less protocol, right? If you want to provide, if you need to provide a more security over the data by, if you are using IP, if you need to provide more security, then you can use the TCP protocol from the transport layer, right? So in this session, we will be discussing about the IPv6 protocol header format as well as the congestion control mechanism under the network layer. So let us begin. So for each packet or whenever we are sending the data, we know that there is some partition available in that particular packet. That one will be the header. The base header will be provided, right? One header will be provided at each layer. One header will be added. Then the payload is nothing but the data which is coming from the above layer. Now here in this case we have a transport layer which is the above layer of our network layer. So from transport layer, whatever the data or the segment is coming, that will be encapsulated into the IP packet, isn't it? So to that encapsulation, one header is also added, in which header few basic details regarding that entire packet will be mentioned, right? So base header and the payload, which will consist of the entire packet, which is of we can say this is the format of IPv6. Now this header in we can say in IPv4 also we have discussed about the limitation or the criteria or the range of the header, right? It will be starting with the 20, like that. The base header under the IPv6 is 40 bytes. Okay, this is 40 bytes of header will be always available, and the payload size is not fixed. This can be ranged up to 65 535 bytes. Okay, so up to this you can encapsulate a number of bits which are coming from the above side. Now if you can observe, there is one more structure available here to this base header which is called as extension header, but this is the optional part. Now why it is optional? In IPv4 we will discuss why we are using IPv6, but before that, whatever the fields which we have in the IPv4, we have a lot of fields available, we have discussed that, right? So those fields are not mandatory in all the cases. Okay, in some situations we might not require that congestion control mechanisms or some authentication mechanisms like checksum field and all, right? We have calculated that in the IPv4. But sometimes it may possible कि मुझे कुछ ऐसा केस चाहिए that I just want to send my packet, I just want to transmit my data, I'm not making sure about the confirmation of the integrity of the data which I am sending. So in such cases we will be keeping in IPv6, what we are doing, we are keeping that optional. If any user wants that particular service, then in that case only we will be adding the header to this base header according to the requirement of the user or the data requirement which we are transmitting. Okay, and the data packet from the upper layer. Now what is this data packet from upper layer? Suppose we have this payload length can be possible up to 65 535 byte, like here mentioned it is, right? But in IPv6, there is a feature that we can extend this length. Okay, if you have a more payload length, okay, whatever the data is coming from the transport layer, if it is larger in the size than 65 535 bytes, then you can have a data packet from the upper layer. Like whatever the data you have, you can add a jumbo packet, जिसको हम कहते हैं jumbo jumbo payload. So here you can extend some data which is coming from the above layer also. So these features are available in the IPv6. Now this is IPv6 datagram header and the payload structure. Here is, this is a feature of IPv6 that we are providing the optional extension headers. If our in our IP datagram, if we are sending the extension headers, then it has to be mentioned in the base header that this data packet contains some extension headers. This has to be mentioned in the base header. There will be one field available to mention that. Okay, so now we will be discussing about the header format. If you remember the IPv4 header format, there are also a lot of fields available. There are also some source address, destination address field available. But here above we had fragmentation row. एक fragmentation के लिए separate second row दिया गया था, right? Fragmentation beats, identification. Then we had some flag beats available, whether more fragments we can do or not, fragmentation is allowed or not, and one zero bit, that is one reserve bit was available, right? 3 bits were present. Then we have calculated about offset. So that second row is skipped from this IPv6. Also checksum part is not available in this. Okay, so you just make a note of the difference between the both the IPv4 and the 6 header formats. Now let us begin. The first, this is the fixed header partition. Okay, this no one can change this one. This has to be included into the header format. So this is about 40 byte of header format. The first field is about version, that is 4 bits of version. In IPv4 also the first field was the version. The value of this field in this IPv6 now will be 0110. We need to mention the version, right? So currently IP जो डेटाग्राम है, एक IP का ये जो पैकेट है, ये IP हेडर जो है with not, I'm not talking about individual IPv6 or IPv4. I'm just talking about the IP datagram, whatever the header format have. The version field from that IP datagram we are reserving only to represent currently 4 or the 6 value. Now we have 4 bits, मतलब 0000 से लेके 1111 तक के values अपने पास बन सकते हैं. But from these all values, we are only, till now we have used 2 values. One is to represent the 4, that is 0100, and the another one is 0110. This is for 4 representing IPv4. This is for representing IPv6. So this version will tell you that which packet it is carrying. The next subfield is of 8-bit, which is called as priority or the traffic class. Now, this was also present in our IPv4. What was happening in this priority or the traffic class? It may possible while our packet is transmitting during in between the media, through the communication media, it might possible that there should be any congestion can occur, right? So if the congestion will occur, then router has to take some decisions. What router has to take decision? Which packets I can drop in this case? Okay, at this moment, which packets I can drop? So that decision will be taken by the router, depend upon the priority which is mentioned in this subfield. If this particular packet is having higher priority, or if it is a immediate data, then routers will keep these packets, and the rest without priority packets will be dropped out from the medium. Okay, so priority will mention about how important this packet is to reach, it should be reached to the destination. Fine. The next is the flow label, which is of 20 bits field. Now flow label is something, again we know that our IP datagram, our IP packets are the connectionless packets. ऑलवेज रिमेंबर, हाँ, इट इज कनेक्शनलेस। और ट्रांसपोर्ट लेयर में टीसीपी एंड यूडीपी जो होता है, टीसीपी जो होता है कनेक्शन ओरिएंटेड होता है एंड द यूडीपी इज द कनेक्शन लेस प्रोटोकॉल। ये विथ रिस्पेक्ट टू योर एक्सटर्नल वाइवास दिस इज रियली इंपॉर्टेंट कि इसका आपको फीचर्स पता हो। सो आईपी इज कनेक्शन लेस डेटाग्राम, राइट? बट टू प्रोवाइड some you can say more functionality or few efficient way में to transmit the data, what we are providing the feature in the IP, we can do some virtual connection, we can do some virtual connection in between the sender and the receiver. Okay, we are not providing the direct path, सेंडर के साइड में ही पाथ बन के जो कनेक्शन ओरिएंटेशन में रहता है। कनेक्शन ओरिएंटेशन मैकेनिज्म इज व्हाट हमने देखा हुआ है, कनेक्शन ओरिएंटेड कनेक्शन लेस सर्विसेज इन द फर्स्ट यूनिट इटसेल्फ, राइट? तो उसमें क्या रहता है, बिफोर ट्रांसमिटिंग द फ्रेम्स, बिफोर ट्रांसमिटिंग द डेटा, सेंडर विल डिसाइड द पाथ। ओके, सेंडर के साइड में जो नेटवर्क में राउटर रहेगा, इट विल डिसाइड द पाथ थ्रू विच आई नीड टू ट्रांसमिट द डेटा, है ना? तो अब the same features we are providing in IP also, but it will be the virtual connection will be created. Virtual connection मतलब क्या? Depend upon the situation. अगर current situation में if it feels कि I need to create a virtual connection, then and by using that connection itself, that those packets, if it is fragmented, अगर ये fragmented भी रहेगा, then also this will be transmitted through this virtual connection only. Okay, that decision will be taken by the router, intermediary routers. Fine. Now what I was saying, this flow label is related to this mechanism. जो virtual path हम लोग एक decide कर रहे हैं, on that virtual path the labels will be mentioned to that fragmentation, so that at the receiver side those all fragments, those all sub packets will be reassembled. Okay, so the label मतलब क्या रहता है कि which path we are deciding, which path we are taking to transmit this particular data bits or the packets. So labels will be mentioned, like we have discussed about the routing table also, right? Which path it takes, like if it is coming with the identification number 1 and with the label 1, इसका मतलब क्या होता है कि ये पैकेट जो है किसी एक पर्टिकुलर ए डिवाइस से आया है जिसका आइडेंटिफिकेशन पाथ जो है ए ही है, तो इसका मतलब कि ये वाला ही रूट आइडेंटिफिकेशन 1 है, then this has to be take this particular path. Suppose from the same machine, suppose a डिवाइस ही है लेकिन ये जो पैकेट भेज रहा है it is sending with the two label, मतलब it has to take, even if it will arrive at this router, but this will take the path this one, the second identification number. तो ये जो label रहेगा that will be mentioned under this subfield which is a flow label of 20 bits. The next subfield which we have is the payload length. Payload is nothing but the data which is coming from the above layer, that is transport layer, as it is, मतलब transport layer में भी the data at transport layer, the data will arrive from the application layer, isn't it? So to that application layer some headers will be added at the transport layer, so that entire segment transport layer पे इसको segment कहते हैं. In network layer we used to call this packets, at data link layer we used to call this as a frame, right? So from data link layer whatever the segment is coming, that entire segment as it is, header plus payload which is coming from the application layer, that will be that length of that payload will be mentioned in this subfield which is of 16 bits. Okay, the next subfield is
One of the student is in the waiting room.
so here the next subfield is the next header which is of 8 bit. Now next header I have already mentioned about this, right? That if you have some extension part available to this header format, extension part matlab if you want to mention regarding the authentication or regarding hope to hope connections, different partitions are available under this next extension header that I will explain after this. But if it is available, if extension header is available with this IPv6 header format, then that will be mentioned. कौन सा header available है, that will be mentioned under this subfield. Next header 8-bit subfield. Okay. The next is the hope limit. Hope limit, it is same like TTL field in the IPv4. We have discussed the TTL, right? What is TTL? Anyone? What is TTL? Anybody? IPv4 header format?
Time to live.
Yes, exactly. It is time to leave subfield which is available in IPv4. This is same, the functionality is same of hope limit. Let me tell you this. TTL which will prevent the congestion in the network, है ना. तो अब क्या होगा कि suppose if any packet IPv6 packet have been transmitted from the source machine, so it is like it has entered into the network. Okay, there is a large network available, source की तरफ से इसको send तो किया गया, but now it is like traveling over the network and it is not able to find, it is traveling hope to hope, ये मशीन से वो मशीन की तरफ, ये सर्वर से वो सर्वर की तरफ, ये राउटर से वो राउटर की तरफ, it is just traveling but it is not getting its destination. Okay, it is not able to find the destination. So how much time it will roam? If no any router is having the path to transmit this IPv6 format to the exact destination, then what will happen? How much time it will roam into the network? खामखा ये क्या करेगा? It will create a congestion, it will create a traffic in this network. घूमता रह जाएगा. ऐसे कितने तो पैकेट्स रहेंगे, those are not getting the destination. So we need to define some time limit, how much time they can roam here, okay, in the network. So that is the time to live feature in the IPv4, and this is called as the hope limit in the IPv6 header format. Hope limit matlab how many hopes that IPv6 packet can travel. यहाँ से अगर ये IPv6 पैकेट ट्रांसमिट किया गया है, then like 30, suppose 30 is a hope limit. That means whenever it has been entered into the network to reach, so that it can reach to its destination, whenever it will jump to the first router or the device, intermediary device, there that hope limit will be decremented by 1. Okay, so 30 minus 1 will be 29, then it will be transmitted to the next one. Okay, so next intermediary router will proceed its data link layer, वो उसका framing वेमिंग का सब हो जाएगा, destination network layer का source ID ये सब पहचानेगा. Suppose this is not meant for this intermediary device, then it has to forward it to someone, right? So this will forward that IPv6 packet again, but then that IPv6, whenever it is transmitting that packet, it will again decrement the value by 1. So 29 becomes 28. Like this, whenever it will reach to any device, the value of that hope limit will be decremented by 1. Okay. Once that value will reach to 0, that time that IPv6 packet will be dropped out from the network. So it will not reach to its destination. Okay, so again then there will be some circumstances where this will happen. The same time at sender side the timer will be applied, and then if the acknowledgement will not arrive within the timer, then the retransmission of that packet will be there. That is another case. But hope limit, it will tell you about how much time the packet will survive in the network. Okay, then the next subfield is the source address. Now this also we had in our IPv4 source address, but that was the length of, anyone, the length of the source address in the IPv4 format? IPv4, what is the length? और IPv4 एड्रेस जो होता है, हाउ मच बीट, कितने बीट का होता है?
32 bit.
Yes. Why are you confused? It is correct answer. IPv4 32 बीट का ही होता है. एड्रेस जो हम देखते हैं हमेशा when we run any command, when we check our IP addresses, if it is IPv4 then it is 32 बीट. जो हम डेसिमल फॉर्मेट में 4 ऑक्टेट्स में देखते हैं, इट इज ऑलवेज 32 बिट, राइट? सो बट इफ इट इज अ IPv6, then source addresses will be of 128 bit. Please remember these bits. How many bits of addresses are there? It will be asked in your external examinations. I will just repeat for one more time, right? If it is IPv4, then it is of 32 bit. If it is IPv6, then it is 128 bit. Okay, and these IP addresses are used at network layer. कहाँ पे यूज होते हैं? दे आर यूज्ड एट नेटवर्क लेयर, विच इज कॉल्ड एज द लॉजिकल एड्रेस. It is called as logical address. Okay, then at data link layer, which addresses we use? At data link layer we use physical addresses, which is also called as MAC addresses. And the length of the data link address or the MAC address is what? Physical address length? Anyone? Physical address length, hardware address, MAC address, hardware address, physical address, we can call any one of the name. That addressing mechanism is used, can be accessed at data link layer. वो जो डील करता है वो डीलिंग कहाँ पे होता है? It will be at data link layer, which is of 48 bits. Which is of 48 bits. Okay, then this is regarding the physical address of your device. Any device physical address होता है ना उसका कुछ unique, so that will be 48 bits, which can be handled by the data link layer. नेटवर्क लेयर जो आपका सोर्स का ओवर द इंटरनेट यूनिक आइडेंटिफिकेशन बताता है, and this can be changed. This IPv4, this IPv6 address will be changed if you will change your network. If you are connected to your home network, home Wi-Fi, then it will show some different IP address. When you will connect to your outside network, college में जाओ, किसी cyber cafe में जाओ, if you will connect to that network, then there will be IPv4, IPv6 will be changed. Okay, so this will be unique in a single network. If you are connected in a network, then there will be a unique identification number always. Okay, but if you will change the network, then your IP address can be changed. Okay, but this is not happening with the physical addresses. These are always same. Wherever you will go, you change any network. Okay, how many numbers of networks you are changing, that doesn't matter. But whenever your system is installed, your device is like ready to use, that time you will be having your 48 bit of physical address, which will be provided by network interface card, NIC में जो लिखा रहता है. Okay, so this is of 48 bits. Data link layer जो deal करता है. Then there is one more addressing available in our with respect to our networking layers. Anyone remember? ये वाला होस्ट के लिए एड्रेसिंग है. दिस इज फॉर द होस्ट, दिस इज फॉर द डिवाइस. ये जो ओवर द नेटवर्क कनेक्ट होता है तब, दिस इज द डिवाइस हार्डवेयर एड्रेस. और एक रहता है एड्रेसिंग. एनीवन? डू यू रिमेंबर द प्रोसेस आईडी? फॉर प्रोसेस ऑल्सो वी यूज टू गिव सम आइडेंटिफिकेशन, राइट? यूनिकनेस उसका भी चाहिए ना हमें. तो प्रोसेसेस जो है दैट विल बी आइडेंटिफाइड एट ट्रांसपोर्ट लेयर. ठीक है, प्रोसेसेस का आइडेंटिफिकेशन जो होता है, इट विल बी, दिस इज द प्रोसेस आईडी. okay, which will be dealt at transport layer. How many bits of transport layer? Ports process ID, it will be 16 bit, 2 bytes का रहता है. 16 bit of process ID. Whenever we are running any process in the machine device, there will be a unique identification number allocated to that process. So it's a 16 bit of process ID. Fine. Then one more addressing is there, which will be used at data link layer, application layer. I hope this is visible. एप्लीकेशन लेयर पे एक एड्रेसिंग मैकेनिज्म यूज करते हैं. क्या रहता है वो? एनीवन? व्हाट इज द एड्रेसिंग मैकेनिज्म? डोमेन नेम सर्वर. Domain name server means whenever you are typing www.google.com, that is your domain name. Okay, domain name addressing mechanism is available at application layer. It is very hard to remember every time the numbers 192, 168, 120.50. These numbers we cannot remember always, right? तो मुझे गूगल खोलना है तो मतलब मुझे 201 201.50.30.20 every time I need to remember those addresses. This is not possible, but I can remember apsit.moodle.ac.apsit.edu.in. I can remember google.com, I can remember twitter.com, I can remember linkedin.com, right? So this is very easy to remember for humans. So there is a naming system available at application layer, and we know that application layer is dealt with the user. It is directly connected to the user because users के applications जो है, it will be running every time at the application layer. So it is used, this addressing mechanism is accessed at the application layer. Okay, is it clear the addressing mechanisms, everyone?
Yes, ma'am.
Okay, so 32-bit of addressing available, source address, destination address available in the IPv4. Okay, here in this IPv6 we have 128-bit of source address. Okay, so in this header format the source address has to be mentioned, which will be mentioned here, source address, and then the destination address where the data has to be, where this packet has to be transmitted. The destination address of 128-bit will be mentioned over here. Now after this fixed header, this is the fixed header length. इतना तो सारे fields चाहिए ही चाहिए. You cannot skip anything. You have to mention something in this all fields. Okay. Now after this is the optional part which is called as the extension header. Now as I said, in IPv4 we had a lot of subfields available, but those are removed from this IPv6. If we require those features, then we can add as a form of the extension header to this IPv6. But if we are adding those extension header, then we have to mention those in this next header subfield of the fixed header format. ये fixed header format है, right, ऊपर वाला. तो यहाँ पे अगर extension header नीचे आपके पास है, then it has to be mentioned here. तो इसका format कैसे रहता है? If you have suppose IPv6 packet, तो IPv6 packet में क्या रहता है? One is header, one is payload, right? So if we are adding the extension header, then the format will be like this is the header format. Then you will be having some extension headers. This will be some extension header. Okay, and this is not possible, मतलब ऐसा नहीं है, this is not the case where you can add only one header or two header. You can add multiple extension headers as per the requirement of the transmission of that packet. Okay, or the features you want to add to that packet, accordingly you can add more number of the extension headers. So here extension header 1, suppose I will be adding some more extensions, so extension header 2, fine, and then at last we will be having some payload. Okay, so now in that case this will be your packet, this will be your entire IPv6 packet. Okay, if you are adding extension headers, then this will look like this. If there are no extension headers available, so simply header and the payload, it will be added. Payload is what? The data which is coming from the above layer. Header, which will give you the details about this entire packet. Fine. So now extension headers are what? Now this remember, 40 byte of fixed header will be available for IPv6. This is always 40 bytes. This is the fixed one. तो this extension we can add. तो अब extension क्या क्या रहता है? Extension headers बहुत सारे होते हैं, but few important or we can say most or widely used are like a routing header. One is routing header. Now what is this routing header? This is like whenever sender sends the packet, wants to send this IPv6 packet, sender can also decide through which router I need to transmit my packet. मतलब दिस इज नॉट फिक्स्ड राइट, कि कहीं से भी जा सकता है, दिस इज अ कनेक्शन लेस, सो इट विल जस्ट टेक अ डेस्टिनेशन ऑन द सोर्स एड्रेस एंड इट विल ट्रैवल ओवर द नेटवर्क, तो जैसे पाथ मिलता जाएगा वैसा जाता है. बट there is a feature, if you are using the routing header extension, then source machine can decide to which packet, through which router, not packet, through which router I need to transmit this. So those details will be added into this routing header. Okay, the next is hope by hope option. Hope by hope option, सॉरी, होप बाय होप ऑप्शन में टू विच होप, कौन से होप के थ्रू जाएगा, एज वेल एज दोज होप्स कैन ओपन द कंटेंट और नॉट. इफ द होप कंटेंट इज मेंशन, मतलब होप का डिटेल्स अगर यहाँ पे दिया हुआ है इस एक्सटेंशन में, तो वहां पे that hope can use the details which are present in the header format, otherwise they are not allowed to open that. They will simply check this source address, destination address, and they will just forward that particular packet. Okay, so इसका भी कुछ लिमिट रहता है. This extension header is also having some uh, length, fixed length format. It is of 43. इसका तो सिर्फ होप्स मेंशन करने होते, तो इसका कुछ 43 से कम रहता है. आई एम नॉट श्योर अबाउट द एग्जैक्ट बीट, बट this is also the fixed length of format. Okay, then we had like fragment header. Fragmentation जो हमने देखा था IPv4 में, in IPv4 there is a separate row provided, a separate we can say bits reserved under the IPv4 fixed header format. फ्रेगमेंटेशन के लिए फील्ड वहां पे कंपलसरी था, बट हियर वी आर not using it in the fixed header format. If we have a fragmentation with respect to this packet, then we can use the fragmentation header and the details regarding that will be added into this in the fragmentation header. Okay, then suppose we want to add some authentication related authentication, so that we can maintain some integrity between the data. So we can add some checksum format. जो checksum के लिए एक सब field था IPv4 में, that we have replaced or that we have added into this extension. So authentication related also features you can add by using the extension header of authentication header. Okay, then there is a feature of destination. Destination header क्या होता है, इसका मतलब that even if we are mentioning the hope by hope limit, that who can access the data which is not data but the details which are present inside of this header format, that we are mentioning in this hope by hope. Okay now, so even if we are providing this feature, we need to maintain some like confidentiality, where we want only destination should open that particular field or the data. Okay, so in that case we will be mentioning that by adding this destination header extension. Okay, तो उसमें क्या होगा कि कौन सा डेटा है जो सिर्फ डेस्टिनेशन ही प्रोसीड करेगा, it will only open, that will be mentioned in this destination header. So if that particular subfield is mentioned in this destination header, then no any intermediary router, whoever is getting that IPv6 packet during the transmission, they will not be able to open that subfield if this extension header is open added with this IPv6. Okay, so like this, a lot of headers, extension headers are available, but these are like mostly used header formats, extension formats are there. Okay, so this is all about the IPv6 header format in university examination. For explain IPv4 header format, explain IPv6 header format, or compare the list the difference between the both header format, what are the changes, why we are using this, why there is a need of IPv6. This type of the questions will be merged together and it will be asked for 10 marks. Okay, now why we need IPv6 if we are okay with the IPv4? Are we okay with the IPv4? Is it enough to use IPv4? Why we have moved to the IPv6? Anyone? We have discussed this already when we were discussing about the classless CIDR. That time I have already explained this. Can you tell me why there is a need of IPv6? Okay, tell me about in IPv4, how many number of addresses we can have?
Two raised to 32.
Very good. So in IPv4, there is a range or there is a possibility. IPv4 का कितना है? Maximum 32 bit. इसके 32 bit हो सकते हैं. So 2 raised to 32, near about 4 billion addresses we can form. 4 billion या फिर 2 raised to 32 addresses we can have at the same time. और इतने devices हम क्या कर सकते हैं? We can access it. We can access internet by using IPv4 addresses, right? But this is not enough. जितने अभी requirements हैं, अभी तो Internet of Things का जमाना है. We want every device in our home should be accessed like over the internet. Fridge में भी हमारा internet हम access कर सकते हैं. We can access through AC के लिए, TV के लिए. A lot of devices, number of devices are there which we want to access remotely, and for that purpose we want to assign some addresses to them. Okay? So if we want those number of IP addresses, this is not enough. 2 raised to 32 is not enough, and that is why there is a requirement of more IP addresses, and which we have accessed, which we are accessing through IPv6. Okay, so in few systems, if you can see, समटाइम्स इट में पॉसिबल कहीं पे आपको दिखेगा कि 192 168 ऐसा एड्रेस आपको कहीं दिखेगा ही नहीं आपके मशीन में, तो वहां पे आपको वो 128 बिट का एड्रेस दिखेगा, एंड दैट 128 बिट एड्रेस इज रिटर्न इन द फॉर्म ऑफ हेक्साडेसिमल फॉर्म. ठीक है, तो जहां पर ही हेक्साडेसिमल फॉर्म में आपको एड्रेस दिखेगा, दैट इज IPv6 हेडर फॉर्मेट. फाइन. सो द नेक्स्ट इज, आई होप दिस इज एंड ऑल द फील्ड्स आर क्लियर. Someone please acknowledge.
Yes, ma'am.
Okay. Now the next topic is the congestion control techniques. Now these congestion control techniques are available or we are discussing in network layer. Okay, this is the congestion control technique in network layer. Now what is congestion? We are aware about this word, right? Congestion. What happens? Suppose there is, this is a device like A, suppose this is B, this is C, and here is D, and here is E. Okay, now the scenario is like A is sending data to D, B is also sending data to D, C is also sending the data to D, and D is supposed to transmit this entire data which has been received by A, B, C. This D has to send it to E. Okay, he is the only one who needs to manage these all packets which are arriving from ABC, and D has to transmit it to the E. Okay, so what will happen? It may possible that there will be a buffer overflow can be possible, right? See, at every devices, at every we can say location, we will be having some buffer space, right? So if it will exceed that buffer space, they will not be able to manage those packets. क्या होगा? Simply it will be dropped out. So if it will be dropped out, मेरे data packets अगर वहां पे lost हो जाएंगे, so there will not be any we can say exact or the actual data transmission is not possible. Reliability वहां पे नहीं रहेगी फिर. There will be a congestion. This can occur, this can cause an congestion, right? If they are sending, suppose इसका जो है this A device is running on dual to core processor, if this B is running on i3 processor, if this D is running on i5 processor, but again this E is running on the i3 processor, then what will happen? Each device processing speed of the packets will be different, right? And accordingly, at each device there will be some problem may occur with respect to buffer, with respect to receiving of the data, transmission of the data. So it may cause and delay. आपका जो डेटा ट्रांसफर हो रहा है उसमें डिले हो जाएगा, राइट? डिले है, दैट इज फाइन. व्हाट इफ ये थोड़ी देर बाद पहुंचा, दैट इज ऑल्सो फाइन इन सम केसेस, सम सिचुएशन. बट व्हाट इफ द actual data will not be received? What if the loss of reliability, right? In that case, what will happen? At receiver side, checksum fields will be verified. If it is not equal, if the checksum is not equal, simply the destination machine will drop that packet and it will ask for the retransmission, राइट? टाइमर अगर सेंडर की साइड में खत्म हुआ तो सेंडर समझ जाएगा कि मेरा डेटा या तो सही से भी पहुंचा है या तो पहुंचा ही नहीं है, राइट? सो इन दैट केस अगेन रीट्रांसमिशन इज पॉसिबल. अगर रीट्रांसमिशन हो गया, पहले से ही यहाँ पे कंजेशन हो रखा था, ट्रैफिक पहले से ही है, and A is understanding there is we can say there is a problem in my sent packet, then what will happen? This A will simply retransmit those packets. अभी वहां पे इफ वी आर यूजिंग द विंडो कंसेप्ट, अगेन अपना विंडो का कंसेप्ट अगर आपको याद है, स्लाइडिंग विंडो एंड द सिलेक्टिव रिपीट विंडो, तो वहां पे क्या होगा? इफ वी आर यूजिंग द गो बैक एंड मेथड, गो बैक एंड मेथड में क्या था? जितना एक्नॉलेजमेंट नहीं आया है उस फ्रेम में जितने सारे उस विंडो में जितने सारे फ्रेम्स है सबको वापस हम रिसेंड करते हैं. यस और नो? तो इन दैट केस देयर विल बी, मतलब वर्स्ट सिचुएशन हो जाएगी वहां पे उस कंजेशन की, पूरा सिस्टम ही हैंग हो जाएगा, राइट? तो पूरा नेटवर्क हैंग हो जाता है उस केस में, सर्वर पे अगर लोड आ जाता है. इफ इट इज अ सिलेक्टिव रिपीट देन ऑल्सो इट इज फाइन. तो वहां पे विंडो में वॉट एवर द frames we are not retransmitting all the frames, only those frames we will be transmitting for which the acknowledgement is not received, right? So again, these are all causing the congestion, right? And we need to maintain this congestion. How we can maintain? How we are maintaining at the network layer this? By using two type of the techniques, two types, that is open loop congestion control and the closed loop congestion control. Now what is the difference between both? Open loop congestion control means, simply we can say here these are the prevention mechanisms, preventing or before transmitting or before happening the congestion, we are using some techniques so that we can control congestion, so that there should not be any congestion which can occur between the transmission. We are preventing something. ओके तो यहाँ पे क्या है? लाइक हम वैक्सीन्स ले रहे हैं, क्यों ले रहे हैं? सो दैट हमें कोरोना ना हो, हमें कोई बीमारी ना हो, राइट? वी आर प्रिवेंटिंग. एंड व्हेन हमें कोई बीमारी हो जाती है देन वी यूज टू टेक सम मेडिसिन टू कवर अप दैट. तो वो होगा जाएगा क्लोज्ड लूप कंजेशन कंट्रोल, राइट? सो इफ the congestion is detected during the transmission, if the congestion is detected during the transmission, that time which techniques we are considering, those are present under this closed loop congestion control. Okay, open loop congestion control are, we are preventing the congestion, we are trying to prevent the congestion, we are trying to maintain the transmission should be the transmission of the packet should be should happen smoothly. There should not be any delay problem should occur, reliability का कोई issue ना हो, retransmission की कोई जरूरत ना पड़े. That we are making sure in the prevention. Okay, and the closed loop, by chance if the congestion happens, then how we will be dealing that? What will happen in that case? The message will be transmitted to whom, by which way? That we are dealing in this closed loop congestion control. Okay, is it clear? Any doubt? So we will be now discussing about the types which are present under this open loop and the closed loop congestion control. In open loop, we are, as I said, there are prevention mechanisms, right? So in this we have the first technique which is called as retransmission policy. Then we have the window policy, acknowledgement policy, discarding policy, and admission policy. These are the all policies or the techniques which we are using under open loop congestion control. Okay, in closed loop, we have back pressure, choke point, implicit signaling, and the explicit signaling. Now, what is happening in this retransmission policy? See, basically in this method, in which the retransmission of the packets, whatever the retransmission of the packets will be done, it may possible that there is some error which has been detected at the destination side. Okay, so no acknowledgement or no any acknowledgement will be transmitted to the sender back, right? So there will be the case of retransmission. So those retransmissions, how we will be handling, or that will be handled by this policy. It will be taken care by this policy. If the sender feels that a sent packet is lost or corrupted, the packets needs to be retransmitted, right? So this transmission may increase the congestion in this network. To prevent this congestion, there will be a timer concept. ये जो timer वाला concept है, because of that we are adding here. There will be a timer designed at the network layer so that we can prevent the congestion. Also, we will be able to, we can say, improve our efficiency, right? So this will be handled by the retransmission policy. Then we have a window policy. Now, we have two type of the windows available. One is the go back N. As I said, this is a go back N. We have solved examples also on this. Also, there is one more window which is selective repeat. These are the two type of the window we have, right, in the window policy. So the type of the window at the sender side, whatever we are using, that will affect the congestion. As I explained in go back N, whatever the packets are available in that window, those all we are retransmitting. Even if it is received by the receiver, then also we are retransmitting these all packets if we are using the go back N, right? So several packets in the go back N window will be resent, even if they are already received successfully at the receiver side. So because of this duplication, जो भी यहाँ पे रिट्रांसमिशन हो रहा है वन मोर टाइम, इवन यहाँ पे भेजा गया है फिर भी, रिसीव किया गया है फिर भी, इट विल इंक्रीज द कंजेशन इन द नेटवर्क, और ये वर्स कर रहा है फिर से सिचुएशन को, राइट? सो देयरफॉर द सिलेक्टिव रिपीट विंडो we need to adopt. If we will adopt the concept of selective repeat in the most cases, so that it will be easy to manage the congestion. There will not be duplication of the frames, right? So because it will send only the specific packet जो भी lost हुआ है, or before the timer if the acknowledgement is not received, so only that lost packet will be transmitted, retransmitted. So this will be taken care by the window policy. Then we have a discarding policy. What is happening under this discarding policy? This has to select a proper or the well-mannered discarding packet discarding mechanism. So routers, who will use this? Because at router, intermediary routers जो रहेंगे उसके पास packets आते हैं ना, from the different networks, from the different devices. So this policy will be adopted by the router, so that routers should prevent congestion, and at the same time they should decide to discard, we can say, some corrupted or some less sensitive data packets. Less sensitive matlab kya? Suppose in case of audio file transmission, routers can discard some less sensitive packets so that the congestion can be prevented. अगर ऑडियो फाइल में से अगर मैं एक दो बीट का मिसप्लेस्ड कुछ हो भी गया तो भी क्या होगा, माय ऑडियो फाइल कैन बी ट्रांसमिटेड टू डेस्टिनेशन. वहां पे क्या रहता है कि it should be just reached at the destination. तो उस केस में वो डिसाइड करेगा, and accordingly the quality of the audio file will also be can be also maintained. So that policy will be adopted by the routers under the discarding policy. Then we have the we can say admission policy. Oh, ये रह गया ना acknowledgement policy. Acknowledgement policy is what? We know that there will, whenever we are sending the packets, there will be acknowledgement will be transmitted by the receiver to the sender back, right? But again, पहले से ही अगर कंजेशन चल रहा है नेटवर्क पे, ऊपर से हम क्या कर रहे हैं, जो जो हमको पैकेट्स मिले, वी आर सेंडिंग सम एक्नॉलेजमेंट टू दैट सेंडर बैक अगेन फ्रॉम द रिसीवर, सो दैट सिर्फ एक्नॉलेजमेंट वाला पैकेट अगर हम भेज रहे हैं, then also for that each and every packet we are sending okay acknowledged, okay acknowledged, 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 so this may cause an congestion. So acknowledgement policy mein what we are making sure that receiver should not send a single acknowledgement to the sender. It can collect, receiver can collect acknowledgements together and then it should be transmitted. Okay, either this, or if receiver has some data to transmit it to the receiver, so with that data the acknowledgement will be attached. It should be attached and then it will be transmitted. That concept what we call, do you remember anyone? With data, if we are attaching the acknowledgement for the previously received packet, or the, then that concept we called it as, anyone remember? Okay, this I will ask you in the next section. We have discussed about this. We have I have uploaded notes upon this. A lot of times we have discussed this point. Okay, so let me know in the tomorrow's session what we call this mechanism. When we are sending the data, see the scenario में फिर से बताती हूँ. This is the sender, this is receiver. Sender has transmitted some packets to the receiver. Receiver has received correctly. Now receivers, this is the receiver's, we can say, turn to transmit the acknowledgement to the sender. But receiver is not transmitting acknowledgement only. It will be waiting for some time. Waiting for some time for what? So that it should have some data to transmit it to the sender back. So जब ये data भेजेगा, इसके पास जब कोई data होगा, to that data it will be attaching some acknowledgement for the previously received data. So that mechanism is called as, anyone remember?
Piggybacking.
Very good. This mechanism is called as piggybacking. Correct. So piggybacking, either data with acknowledgement for previously received data, this should be adopted, or number of acknowledgements should be collected together and then it will be transmitted. Then again, this is also the case. Suppose timer, उसका भी तो एक timer होगा ना कि acknowledgement भेजना है उस केस में, तो ऐसा भी ना हो कि number of acknowledgements के लिए हम wait कर रहे हैं and there उधर फिर sender side में timer चला गया and then sender is again retransmitting. This should not happen. So according to the timers, receiver should get the decision. Even if I have a single acknowledgement available now, so I will transmit that. So these decisions will be taken care under this acknowledgement policy. Okay. Then we have the last policy under this open loop solution. So it will prevent the congestion. In every case, we are preventing the congestion. हम कोशिश कर रहे हैं कि जितने पैकेट्स जितना जरूरी है, जितना एक्चुअल में जरूरी है, that we are only transmitting. Okay. So in the last policy, which is the admission policy, it is a mechanism where we are making sure before transmitting the packet, we are making sure all the resources should be available. Suppose this sender has to transmit something, proceed with some data, suppose, huh? So this sender will make sure to transmit this packet, all the resources are available. Suppose कि एक mechanism है which is called as to print a page. Okay, we need to print a page. अगर print करना है मुझे page, that means there should be a requirement of resource. कौन सा resource चाहिए? Printer चाहिए. So source should make sure कि printer is available, resources are available. नहीं तो क्या होगा? Otherwise that request will be in queue. अगर queue हुआ मतलब packets network में बचे रहे मतलब वहां पे there is a possibility of congestion. So whenever sender is sending any packet, it should make sure to transmit that packet, to transmit that data, we have all the resources available. If not, then that packet should not be sent now. Whenever the resources will be available, that time you send the data. Otherwise, बेवजह क्या होगा? Those packets will be entered into the network and they will just go to a waiting state, right? So this admission policy to enter that packet into the network, it has to make sure all the resources which are required by that packet are available. This is the admission policy. Okay. Now, this is open loop solution. Then the last we will discuss, this will not take much time, closed loop solution, then we will end up, okay? So closed loop solution, we have different policies, back pressure, then we have choke point, implicit signaling, and explicit signaling. In back pressure, what is happening? Now, it is a technique where we can say, we can say in congestion node, suppose this is a congestion node, it will stop receiving a packet from the above stream node or the upstream node. Okay. Now, if it will stop receiving packets from the upstream node, it may possible or it may cause the upstream node or the nodes which are present before this also become congested, and it may possible they will reject receiving data from the actual sender. Are you getting this? Suppose in this example, if the third node is congested, okay, if this node is congested, then it will stop receiving the packets, and because of that the second will also get congested. ये अगर ले ही नहीं रहा है तो इसका आउटस्ट्रीम लाइन पूरा बंद हो जाएगा. इसका आउटस्ट्रीम बंद है बट इनकमिंग अगर चालू है, then what will happen? There will be a congestion at the second node, right? So it will slow down the entire outstream node or the interface which we have to transmit that data. Okay, so it should send some feedback under this back pressure policy. It should it will just inform up to the upstream node that slow down the packets, the data flow, how this destination or how this intermediary node is doing. That particular feedback will be given by this node to this node to this, like this. Okay, this is the back pressure. Then we have the second is the checkpoint. Choke point. Choke point is what? Here we are informing to the sender who is actually sending. बैक प्रेशर में क्या था कि नोड टू नोड जो अपस्ट्रीम है इससे पहले जो है उसको जाएगा, उससे पहले जो है फिर उसके थ्रू उसके जाएगा, डायरेक्टली सेंडर को नहीं जा रहा है, राइट? नोड टू नोड जा रहा है. बट हियर इन दिस चोक वी कैन से चोक पैकेट टेक्निक, it is applicable to both we can say virtual network which we are creating in the connectionless services as well as in the datagram subnets also. Okay, this in this choke point we are sending one choke packet which is called as choke packet. So what is this choke packet? It is sent by that node who is having some congestion. From the congested node, the packet, the choke packet will be directly transmitted to the source back. ये backward direction में आता है, हाँ? Packet has to be like it should be moving like in a forward direction, right? तो जहाँ पे congestion हुआ है, from there one choke packet will be created and that will be transmitted to the source directly. So intermediary जो nodes रहेंगे, those are not informed about this. They are not going to open that packet. They are not going to check that what is present in that. Okay, directly from congested node to the originated or the original source, the choke packet will be transmitted once the congestion will be detected. Fine. Then we have the implicit signaling. In implicit signaling, there is no communication between the congested node and the source. एक कंजेस्टेड नोड है और एक सोर्स है, बीच में इंटरमीडिएटरी नोड्स है. ओके, कंजेस्टेड नोड से सोर्स पे कोई भी मैसेज नहीं जा रहा है. द सोर्स सिंपली गेस दैट देयर इज अ कंजेशन इन द नेटवर्क. तो गेस कैसे करता है कंजेशन हो गया होगा? फॉर एग्जांपल, व्हेन अ सेंडर सेंड्स सेवरल पैकेट्स एंड सपोज देयर इज नो एक्नॉलेजमेंट फॉर few packets there, so there will be some assumptions ki there should be congestion and because of that my packet have been dropped and I need to retransmit that. Okay, so this type of the message will be or this mechanism is present in this implicit signal.
So ma'am,
Then
we are putting here a condition, right ma'am?
we are putting here,
मतलब आई मीन वो जो एज्यूम करने के लिए कंडीशन रखना पड़ता है ना, मतलब कोड में या फिर सिस्टम में कुछ.
yes, for that we are using the timer. तो assume किसके बेसिस पे होता है कि टाइमर के बेसिस पे. मतलब मैंने एक ही रूट से अगर मैंने सेवरल पैकेट्स भेजे हैं 1 2 3 4 5, लेकिन मुझे जो है 1 2 और 5 का तो आ गया, बट या 1 2 4 5 के एक्नॉलेजमेंट्स तो आ गए, बट 3 का ही नहीं मिला एक्नॉलेजमेंट. सो इन दैट केस देयर इज अ assumption that path is okay, but there might be some a congestion, and because of that third packet जो है मेरा डिस्कार्ड किया गया होगा या बीच में कहीं खो गया होगा, then I need to retransmit it. So that entirely that decision will be taken care by the sender, which is present in this implicit signaling. There will not be any message transmitted from the congested node to the source, like this is happening in choke point, like this is happening in back pressure. बैक प्रेशर में भी क्या था, नोड टू नोड जा रहा है, अपस्ट्रीम नोड पे पहले जा रहा है, फिर इसके पास से, फिर इसके पास से, फिर यहाँ पे जा रहा है. चोक पॉइंट में क्या हो रहा है, इंटरमीडिएट नोड्स आर नॉट अवेयर अबाउट द कंजेशन, डायरेक्टली फ्रॉम कंजेस्टेड नोड टू सोर्स मशीन एक पैकेट भेजा जा रहा है, चोक पैकेट. ठीक है. नाउ द लास्ट इज द explicit signaling. Now what is happening in the explicit signaling? If a node suppose experiencing a congestion, suppose this node is experiencing a congestion, it can explicitly sends a packet to the source, it can transmit a packet to the source or to the destination also. Explicit में ये sender को भी send कर सकता है, या destination को भी send कर सकता है, and it can inform about the congestion. Okay. Now remember the difference between the choke point and the explicit signaling, that intermediary nodes, we can say sorry, इन चोक पॉइंट यहाँ तो है ही, इंटरमीडिएट नोड्स को नहीं पता चलेगा, बट चोक पॉइंट में क्या होता है कि एक सेपरेट चोक पैकेट भेजा जाता है, विच इज ओनली इन्फॉर्मिंग अबाउट, देयर इज मतलब एक स्पेशली क्रिएट किया जाता है टू इन्फॉर्म अबाउट द कंजेशन. बट एक्सप्लिसिट में क्या रहता है, द डेटा पैकेट्स which they have received, with that data packets that control information will be added, and that will be traveled over through the source machine as well as to the destination machine. That decision will be taken care by that router where, or the device where the congestion has been occurred. क्या होता है explicit में, either the feedback message about the congestion will be transmitted to source or to the destination. The difference is that in the choke point and this is, here the choke packet will contain only the message कि there is a congestion, उसके साथ जो डेटा वगैरह कुछ नहीं भेजा जाता, राइट. बट यहाँ पे क्या है, सपोज दिस इज सेंडिंग टू डेस्टिनेशन कि कंजेशन ऑकर हुआ है, तो यहाँ पे जो इसको डेटा मिला था फ्रॉम दिस सेंडर, that data as well as that message about the congestion will be transmitted. Not only the message, also the data which has been received, that will also be transmitted. फॉरवर्ड इसमें दो पार्ट्स होते हैं. अगर वो डेस्टिनेशन को जा रहा है, सपोज दैट मैसेज बाय द कंजेस्टेड नोड इज सेंड टू द डेस्टिनेशन, देन इट इज कॉल्ड एज फॉरवर्ड सिग्नलिंग. Forward signaling if that packet is sent to destination. Okay, and one is called as backward signaling. Backward signaling means that congestion message will be transmitted to the sender. Okay, so this is what the congestion control mechanisms which are adopted at network layer. Now there are two algorithms are also available for congestion control that we will discuss in tomorrow's session. Then we will move for routing algorithms, then our unit will be over. I hope this is clear to you. Mark your attendance, then you can leave.
मैम वो जो असाइनमेंट दिया वो कब तक सबमिट करना है?
30 का डेट दिया है मैंने.
ओके मैम.
Try to complete, otherwise I will extend the date, there is no issue.
ओके मैम. ओके मैम.
हाँ, okay. हेमंत, प्रतीक्षा, आर्यन, सिमरन, अभिषेक, Have you marked your attendance, Nishchay? If marked, you
Yes,
can leave the
yeah,
meeting.
ma'am.
Okay.